Hi, this is Lada from astrolada.com with your January 2019 horoscopes. Happy New Year, guys! And this year starts with a sprint. This is the year numerologically of the number 3, and the number 3 corresponds to the planet Mars. And we start this year having to go very to mobilize our powers. We have no time to rest after the festivities. Mars year is going to be very dynamic with a lot of new beginnings, with a lot of initiatives that people will feel. And this year starts with 2 eclipses, guys. Wow. Eclipses are about fated events that turn our life around and place new beginnings and complete old programs, karmic programs in our life. And Mars is in Aries, making it very dynamic. Things will just come out of the blue, bam, 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 bam. Wow, But I have a present for you for 2019. And you can go already on my website and see it's a Christmas present for you, 2019 presents. It's the free weekly transit calendar. Basically, you can go at any time and check what specific transits you're going to be having for the whole week ahead. Some people might have up to 20, 30 transits per week. And it says, like I've been writing it for 3.5 years with very detailed descriptions, practically what you expect. And this is so different because this is not a generic horoscope. Like you're not listening just for Aries, your sun sign, or Venus. This is like a professional astrologer does a reading. It's your specific transits. No one else in the world has the same transit at the same time as you, unless you have a twin born within 2-3 minutes from you. Otherwise, this is the real deal. No one is born with the same horoscope, and you will see a proper horoscope, and it's free, guys. If you want a month or a year, you can update the version, but otherwise, I'm giving it to you for free. I'm so excited. There is no such available tool for free. There is no such available free software online anywhere with so much information unless you pay or you have a professional astrology program. So there you go. Go and check it out. Plus, I have prepared for you for January 140 pages report for everything important that's happening for all the 12 signs inside, for every important astrological event, what you can expect. So if you want to get it, it's just $7.99 for the whole of January. I also have February ready for you. It's very professional astrology with very practical advice as well. It's like an in-depth calendar, almost like a book for the whole month, day by day. All right. And also don't forget my my yearly 2019 videos are out. You can get them 1.5 hours. Also the written ones, you can get them, and the calendar, 2019 calendar. And we have a retreat in the summer. My first retreat in Bulgaria for 4 days. Will be quite a few astrologers there. Nicola Stojanovic is the main one, and me as well. We'll have some psychics from the website as well. And you can check out again on the link below if you want to join us. And we're gonna party, and you're gonna come to my place, to my house, and we're gonna go to the beach every day, and we're gonna do astrology for hours. So it's gonna be exciting year, very dynamic, full of energetic things. So let's dive into each of the signs. So Gemini, how do you start the year yourself? Quite dynamic, quite exciting. Mars is going to be in the 11th house for you. It's moving there for the whole month, which means you'll be socially very active. A lot of you Geminis, you might be basically going to places that contain large groups of people. You might be doing some activities that are like large conferences or big meetings and groups of people, or just where people hang out together, and that can be like some social events of some sort. Plus, you can be more proactive in fulfilling your goals because the 11th house is very goal oriented, and Mars gives you the energy and the drive to focus like a warrior and go and fix problems there one after another, whatever goals you have. Makes you more ambitious having Mars in the 11th house, especially towards earnings and gains, and more active socially, as I said. But be careful not to have fights with friends. It's more likely, or like on social media, like even if you're someone who don't go out at all, you have some social life, which is the 11th house, or even colleagues of some sort. And because Mars is there, these people who tend to be more opinionated now in January, they might be more willing to clash hands or call you out on your bullshit, or you might be willing to do that to them, and that can create some tensions, especially when Mars squares those planets in Capricorn there. So some power struggles can happen with your social groups and people, but at the same time, you can get a lot done in regards to matters connected to gains, to earning, in regards to fulfilling your goals and dreams and wishes is the 11th house. This is what we really want to have in life. So you get active and mobilized. You can become very proactive in networking, contacting, and more aggressively finding clients as well, more aggressively finding using more aggressive tactics, marketing or strategic ones, business ones, to increase your circle and network of influence, and to make contacts, to be more proactive as well. And others might also try to contact you. But let's focus on the eclipses, because this month is mostly under the influence of eclipses, fated events, powerful new beginnings and endings. The new beginnings are coming in your 8th house. So, and they might be only psychological, but sometimes they're even physical and material. We'll mention both. So the 8th house triggers this new beginning because solar eclipse, it's sun and moon together, mother, father together, new beginning, but then a bit forced because Saturn is there again. They're a bit like, you might not be so excited about those things, but you have to do it. And this is new beginnings in regards to partners, resources, and finances. Maybe you, and the South Node is that it first requires you to end something. So it might require you to end first some source of income that comes to you from another source, maybe a partner's contribution, or client's money, or a bank loan, or parents helping you with money, or partner's salary, uh, or alimony. You might have to end something, might end there, you might have to sacrifice it. Some crisis can happen initially, but at the same time, the full moon eclipse tells you that in the next 6 months, starting from January, you can start new beginnings. First, you sacrifice something there, but you can start new beginnings in regards to finding a new kind of source of emotional or financial support from another, or partnership, business partnership, or something that using their resources of some sort. But again, because Saturn is there can be some the need to work very hard on it, the need to, you might feel like you're forced into that situation, or you might feel, also it's taxes, inheritances, and insurances. There can be some changes there, some important things you have to do, new beginnings, some things that you have to sort out with mutual resources, or inheritances, or insurances, or taxes. And that can feel a bit as a burden, and that can feel like a drag, and that can give you a bit of a crisis situation. And for many people, January is tax season, so you, Gemini, can feel it especially strongly. And there can be some kind of a figure that is Saturnian there that's pushing you towards those new beginnings, which is kind of that like an authority figure, or someone that's demanding you, or your own authority voice that is pushing you towards taking some new beginning and change, and some steps, and even downsizing and streamlining processes connected to insurances, inheritances, taxes, to mutual resources and finances, to money belonging from others, or even investments you made with pooled resources. You might have to pool such resources, or and invest them somewhere else. And streamline and cut. Saturn is to cut, to streamline, to make more practical, more organized, more systemized, to dismiss the unnecessary things in all those matters. Plus, eclipses always indicate some, especially in the 8th house, they can be a trigger of deep psychological insight, a trigger of deep cleansing of old karmic burdens. South Node is past life karma, is past lifetimes. Saturn is the burden that we carry. And South Node, the eclipse triggers us to release that. And it's a very spiritual eclipse because it's on the star Vega. I've written it here. It's one of the most spiritual stars of one of the highest angelic hordes, or kind of, let's say, consciousness. According to ancient astrologers, each star, each constellation has consciousness. It's connected to hierarchical beings of, different levels of consciousness. Well, Vega ones are the very angelic high level. So this eclipse, despite of it being hard with Saturn in the South Node, and emotionally might feel heavy for you because it's in the 8th house, it's connected to emotions, to trauma, it's connected to cutting cords, it's connected to eliminating something from your life, almost in a ruthless way. Sometimes it's connected to trauma, but crisis, sudden changes, but also overcoming that sudden changes. So it's some sudden change, because an eclipse in your eighth house often can create sudden crisis that lead to a huge change in your life. But this is for good. They're presided over by really high level consciousness awareness beings, Vega. So it's happening for your better good, for your spiritual growth. So be willing to let go of that. The South Node eclipse is really asking us, let go of it, don't hold to it. If something needs to be taken away from your life, it might feel like a literal mini death for you in some sort, because eighth house, it is connected to death and things ending suddenly, turning 180 degrees around. But there is an ultimately this is because it wants to release you from some karmic burden that you've been dragging around, and you thought, oh, I love this burden. But once you're free of it, you'll feel how much lighter you feel, and you'll feel like you've crossed on another bridge, psychologically, emotionally, from one state. And often eighth house is where miracles can happen, and you might be almost like forced, Saturn, by some authority figure, or by some development that might feel a bit too heavy and full of responsibility, or that feels daunting and scary, which is what Saturn is, into a miraculous sudden healing. It might be physical, it might be emotional healing. You might have been in a constant semi-depressed state for years and not realize it, and because it's some buried trauma. And this is the eighth house, and this eclipse awakens you to it. There is powerful spiritual vibration through the star Vega. They want to liberate you. So if something dies and goes away from your life now, I might have started already, December, January, even February. This has an ultimately very releasing, uplifting influence. Your consciousness will be transformed. You have crossed the bridge to a lighter level of awareness, and to a higher level of awareness, and to but it might feel a bit forced initially, or you might feel scary. For example, you lose a source of income, or you lose the support of some partner, you lose, but don't worry, this solar eclipse also indicates that new such will come. You'll have to work hard for it, or it might develop slower than you expect, or it might have try very hard, whether it's for taxes, insurances, inheritances, whether it's for support from partners, deep intimacy issues, secrets, eighth house matters, all of those. They will come, those new things will come, with Saturn there, with the new moon, but with a bit more pressure, let's say. And then there is the other eclipse for you, Gemini. It's in your third house. It's not very, affect you too strongly or anything. And it's a full moon eclipse. Full moon always gives us the results of something. And when it's an eclipse, it's more significant results. And again, it can be preceded by some crisis or intensity of energy, and sudden surprising things, because this eclipse is squared by Uranus. But you can expect that matters related to travel, they can come to fruition. Matters connected to documents, to writing, to speaking, can come to fruition and manifest or give their results. Something connected to marketing, business strategy, something connected to learning something new can start giving results. Something connected to siblings and relatives, some situations can escalate. And again, they can always, around eclipse, they can be some crisis, or it can indicate just a bit of the shock, but you can see the fulfillment of something, or the completion of something, and giving results. Might be a project that you're doing with workmates, third houses, colleagues, or as well, or might be some project, some business commercial project. It rules those things as well. It might be some marketing campaign, or it might be something connected to a situation with neighbors, with relatives, with occasional friends, that kind of escalates and give its final, expression of some sort. And there can be an element of surprise there, because Uranus is squaring that eclipse. Or you can just feel more enhanced feelings and emotions, and react more emotionally to people in your everyday environment, colleagues, neighbors, relatives, siblings. There can be something important that's happening there that you need to focus on, and complete. But usually, because it's an eclipse with the south, with the north node, you should receive some material positives out of it, some material manifestation out of it. Okay, so, and then we have Neptune square Jupiter. Neptune square Jupiter. Neptune is in your 10th house, Jupiter is in your 7th house. Well, all right. So be careful not to make promises to others that you can't keep. 4th house is other people, 10th house is your reputation. And the square aspect between Jupiter and Neptune is they're both positive planets, but when they're square, you can overpromise. So you can not to hurt someone, you can say a white lie, or others can do that to you as well because they don't want to rock the status quo, the 10th house Neptune, or because they don't want to, or because they really believe they can do that. So there can be some misalignment of expectations towards others that you have and what they actually deliver, or there might be some misalignment of expectations in regards to promises made to you from bosses or authority figures, or they might overpromise something and not be able to deliver that, or just be too good to be true. And eventually it will still bring good results because Jupiter will continue to be that come to you through others. But now this month, you might have over big expectations, or a bit, expectations that are a bit too, that will need to be trimmed down a little bit, let's say, with more insight and with more practical approach, which Saturn, I think, can give you as well. The Saturn eclipse can give you and tone it down a little bit. And also there can be some expectation, like someone might have promised you something in your career, or some contract. 4th house is contract and agreements, and that you have to be careful for the details, because those promises or those things that you expect in regards to that might not be exactly like you wanted. It doesn't have to be something tragic, don't worry, but there is just more misleading energy there that's happening, or overexpanded energy, and that you might project to others and others towards you, and that affect your social status and reputation and image. So try to be as honest as possible with others, and not that you would intentionally delude others. So these are not bad meaning planets, but because of misaligned or misunderstanding, or because of misaligned or ungrounded judgment of some sort, All right, so interesting month. There are some very strong and positive things, and there's some things that can really turn your life around and liberate you, and while others, they're more difficult ones. So overall, it's a difficult month, as you can see, but life-changing, and because it's under the influence of the most important event is the solar eclipse with the star Vega. All those events are for higher consciousness development and somehow aligning you to your spiritual path. So yeah, thank you so much. And if you want to know your personal transits, much more personal than what I'm talking to you, check out the free weekly transit calendar, or you can check your yearly or monthly, as many as you want. There are different packages that you can purchase, or you can also, if you want a day-by-day, very specific 140 pages description of the month January and February, I have them ready on my website for $7.99 only. So thank you.